Live, and today I'm going to show you how I made a couple of really quick and easy cards with the Simply Said stamp set and the Gallery Blooms dies. So this is a new die set that will be coming in the upcoming ordering starts on Tuesday, I think already. Goodness, I can't believe it's only a couple days away. May 6th. You'll be able to order this designer series paper that I'm using. Sorry, I'm going to keep moving my screen around here a little bit. I'm trying to get a little more centered. The designer series paper that I'm using, you'll be able to order on the 6th, as well as the frame dies. So lots of pretty things coming on the 6th of May. And these are in the new annual catalog. The stamp set is actually one of those current ones, so you can get that right now if you want to, as well as the little circle dies that I've used on here. These are from the Stylish Shapes dies, and that one's die set has been around forever, and it's going to be in the next annual catalog as well. So I'm happy to see that that one's carrying over. But like I said, these are the cards we're going to be making. They're very quick and easy. The designer paper does all the work, which I absolutely love. And again, this is called Beautiful Gallery, I think is the name of the designer series paper. It is in the upcoming annual catalog, and it's in a whole suite of products. There are two, it's one of the big mega suites where there's 2 bundles with it. Designer series paper, the ribbon that I used on here is from it. The little gems are from it. So it's a great big suite of products, and it's lots of pretty things. So, all right. So again, these are what we'll be making, just some quick and easy little cards. And I thought I'd show you 2 different styles. This pack of paper has lots of beautiful prints in it. So you can kind of mix and match, but these are 2 of my favorite prints from the paper. So I thought I'd show you these. So paper's on the way today. Great, Karen. You're going to have lots of fun using it. It's really, really pretty. So the stamp set, this is one of those really simple ones called Simply Said. It is in the front of the current annual catalog, and it's also in the front of the new upcoming annual catalog in with the mix and match products. It's kind of designed to be used I mean, obviously you can use it anywhere, but it was designed and I think kind of featured up front with those because it's a good one. It's got lots of basic sayings in it. And again, like I said, you could just kind of mix and match it with all of the pretty little ephemera packs and that sort of thing that we have available. So it is a photopolymer, so it's easy to see through and easy to stamp with, which I love that about it. And then I did also use the Gallery Blooms. Actually, I used the whole bundle. I forgot. So, because I used the dies to cut this out, and then I did stamp this image on the inside. So Gallery Blooms is the name of one of the bundles that is in the big mega suite with that designer series paper, which is the beautiful Gallery 6x6 designer series paper pack, and it's beautiful. So hey, Danette and Carol and Judy and Amy, Marilyn, Kathy, Karen, Gail, Judy, Karen, Roxanne, thanks everybody for hopping in. I appreciate you being here. So again, Gallery Blooms is the name of the bundle. It's got this awesome kind of double frame die here that I did use to cut out the framing on my designer series paper. And then it's got the dies that will cut out all the stamped images in it, as well as just the accessory dies. And I did use this die and this die. So these 2 little floral dies to cut some pieces out on the card fronts. Hopefully you saw those on there. So again, Gallery Blooms is the name of this. It'll be available to order starting on the 6th of May. And yeah, so there we go. All right. Hey, thanks for hopping in, Julianne. I'm glad. Yeah, see, and that's clean and simple is really what I love. I have such a hard time with the videos because I sometimes find myself feeling like I didn't do enough, didn't make it layered and did whatever enough. So hopefully you all will like this one. Like I said, quick and easy is kind of my go-to, and I like it to be pretty too. So hopefully I give you some good ideas, and maybe for those of you who like to pile on 18 things, you can come up and this can be your base card, and you can pile on all sorts of whatever you like. So, hey, Joan, thanks for hopping in. I also did use the Stylish Shapes dies, and it's the 3rd from the smallest circle die that I used to cut out my little sentiment on here. At least I think it was 3rd from the smallest. Let me double check that. Yep, it is. Sorry, my dog has decided to get up and wander around, and you hear her little paws clickety-clacking on the floor. So she's up sniffing God knows what. So, all right. Hey, Judy and Carol, thanks for joining today. So, and Kathy as well. Stampin' Up! Just announced this morning. It's out of my blog already, and I did post a note about it on Facebook and on Instagram. But Stampin' Up! Is doing a double Stampin' Rewards bonus for anybody that orders $20 or greater from the Stampin' Up! Store, May 2nd and 3rd only. So they're celebrating technically National Scrapbooking Day, but it's any Stampin' Up! Products that you order. As long as you order $20 or greater, then you'll get double of the new Stampin' Rewards. So normally you get 10% kind of cash back, coupon back, whatever you want to call it, in Stampin' Rewards. For May 2nd and 3rd only, you're going to get 20% back in Stampin' Rewards. So that is definitely a nice little bonus. If you're wanting to get the last few things from that retiring list before the new catalog starts, that'd be a great time to do that. And then use those reward points towards your first catalog order. So yeah, let me know if you have questions about that. Again, details are on my blog today, which is stampwithamyk.com. I'll also add them when I put this video up for showing you how to make these cards, so you'll have all the details then as well. And also post it out on Facebook and on Instagram as well. So what else is going on here? Stampin' Up! Also let us know that they have got a starter kit special that will be going on starting the 6th of May, and it will run through the 31st of May. And you get to pick $165 worth of Stampin' Up! Products in a starter kit for only $99. Normally it's $125 that you get to pick for $99. But if you join between May 6th and May 31st, you get $165. So it's a huge, huge bonus. That's a lot of extra free stuff in a starter kit. If you have any interest in joining, let me know. I'd be happy to chat with you more about it. Again, there's no obligation, nothing required of you. You don't have to do any classes. You don't have to do anything business related. You can just join and simply get the discount for yourself. Again, details are going to be in my newsletter tonight, and I'll also be posting about it on my blog in the coming days. But it's definitely in my newsletter going out tonight. So if you're not a subscriber for that, head over to my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com, and hit the little button on the sidebar that says subscribe to my weekly newsletter, and get your name on there, and you'll see all the details posted out there. So again, it's a great deal. If you've been thinking about joining, May is an excellent time because you got the new annual catalog. Once you join, you get at least a 20% discount on anything that you purchase as a demonstrator. And and you get to pre-order from things ahead of time. There are, because we've got all these online exclusives coming, lots of pre-orders coming for those, lots of good stuff. Join demonstrator only events, that sort of thing, all sorts of good things. So let me know if you have questions about that. I'd be happy to chat with you more about joining. And then last thing before we get going, online exclusives, anytime you're out ordering, if you're going to be ordering this weekend and getting the double reward points from Stampin' Up., go take a look at the online exclusives. They are definitely, there's some awesome things out there in the online store. This is just a small sampling of them. Products on this side are the items that are going to be available to order starting on the 6th of May. This side is things that are currently available. So there you go. All right, let me know if you have questions about any of that. Always hear your grand dog clicking around on the phone. Aw, aw. And the little beagle left you after 16 years. That's definitely sad news. So always hard to lose a puppy. So no matter how old they are, 16 years is a good long time to live, but goodness, they're, sad no matter when. So, all right. So basics for this card, you can use either card base, and I have one that is cut, that's the standard kind of book fold horizontal card base, and one that is cut the top fold, which is my favorite kind of card base. So I've got 4 1/4 by 11 inches and scored at 5 1/2 for the Mossy Meadow card base. For the cloud cover card base, this one is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4 in the middle. It's the same exact card front size, it's just a different way to open the card. So whichever way is your favorite to design it, you can do that. And then I've got pieces of the Beautiful Gallery Designer Series paper, and this is about 1 1/4 inches. I think that 1 3/4 inches. I'm sorry, I thought that felt too wide to be 1 1/4 inches. 1 3/4 inches wide by about 5 1/2 inches tall, and I'm just going to stick them right down the center of the cardstock panels here. So this one is going to go on my Mossy Meadow card base. Just using a little Stampin' Seal to stick these down. And we'll try to get this centered in here. Hopefully, probably just off the bottom of the page here. So try to get it centered. Center line is here, so I'm just trying to line it up. So this will help me to hopefully get this put on here fairly straight, maybe evenly, hopefully. All right, looks like we're pretty close to centered and straight. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Let me get the other piece. This one is going to be, it's the cloud cover card base. This cardstock will be available to order starting on the 6th of May as well. And again, this is another piece from the Gallery Blooms Designer Series, or I'm sorry, Beautiful Gallery Designer Series paper. And again, cut to the same size, 1 3/4 by about 5.5 inches long. And again, just going to line it up so that I'm fairly centered here in the middle. And then hopefully this will give me a little bit of a guide for where to stick the strip at so that it ends up mostly centered. All right, there we go. Okay, setting both of those aside, and I did do the die cutting part ahead of time, so I will grab both the little die cuts here. There we go. So this I cut with the frame die from the Gallery Blooms dies. And again, this is a die set that's going to be available to order starting on the 6th of May. And it is in the same suite with this beautiful paper. And I use this frame die to cut it. It will cut 2 frames at the same time. So the center frame I've set aside to use on a different project. I just use the outer frame. So that's the piece that I used from it. And I used it to cut some Country Woods Designer Series paper. So this is a lighter wood frame, and this is a little bit of a darker wood frame. And we're just going to stick these to a piece of the Beautiful Gallery Designer Series paper. And the Designer Series paper is kind of perfect for this frame size because you can cut the paper in half and get 2 of the same card fronts from the Designer Series paper piece of paper. So this is actually part of. This was 1 sheet of paper when it started, and I just chopped it in half down the middle at 3 inches and cut it down to about 5 1/4 inches so that it would fit inside my frame nicely. And we're just going to adhere these together with the Stampin' seal. And it doesn't need to be perfectly centered or anything like that, just so long as you keep it so that you don't have any nakedness sticking out around the edge of your frame, if that makes sense. And I'm going to keep it flipped over because I do have, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little Stampin' seal along the edges that didn't get covered by my Designer Series paper, which is not a big deal because we're going to stick it straight to the card front. And then again, this one was the other half of this piece of the Designer Series paper. So again, just taking it and sticking that right to my hand. Come on, there we go. Apparently I need to set that further out of my way. So same thing on this one. We're just going to take the frame that I cut from the Country Woods Designer Series paper, and we're just going to add the adhesive around the edge of it. Little Stampin' seal to stick the pieces together. If you prefer liquid glue, you can certainly use liquid glue. I just don't prefer that. That's not my favorite adhesive. I use it when I have to, but that's all that I use it for. So, all right, putting this together again, roughly centering it. It doesn't need to be perfect. And then just making sure that top and bottom, probably better make sure that that fits in here. There we go. Probably a little better way to do this. Just want to make sure that I don't end up with any of it hanging out over the top. And then so again, flip side of it is equally as pretty with this paper. Now I'm going to grab Stampin' Seal, and I'm just going to add a little bit more to the back of the Designer Series paper panel here. And already there's plenty of it along the edges of the frame, so I don't need to worry about sticking any more on there. And I'm going to go back. This one coordinates with my cloud cover card base. So I've got the cloud cover card base, and just again roughly centering this top to bottom and side to side. And I know that the frame, before anybody gets upset, I know that the frame covers most of the Designer Series paper that's underneath this. This was for a specific sketch challenge, and that was the way the sketch is. It has little peaks of paper on the top and the bottom. So that is why I came up with the design like I did. It's a little harder to see on the cloud cover because the Designer Series paper is pretty similar to the color of the background cardstock. It's a little easier to see on the Mossy Meadow card base. So again, just going to add a little more Stampin' Seal to the back of this panel. And then this one you can decide if you want it to go like this or if you want it to go like this. So I think technically this is the right side up version of it, but I don't think it would look bad either way. I'm going to go with it this way because that's the way I like it. If you prefer it to be the other way around, you can certainly do that. Like my original card has the flowers coming in from the top left. These are kind of going to be coming from the top right and a little bit of the bottom right. So, all right, so just adhering those together. All right, hey Carol, thanks for joining. And then next thing that I did is I've got a couple little die cuts for each of the card bases. And if I can get my fingers to pick them up. Got a Mossy Meadow and a crumb cake die cut, and I'll show you which dies I used for these. Cut with the Gallery Blooms dies, and I used this kind of taller, skinnier die for the Mossy Meadow, and this one that's a little bit shorter and has more kind of floral look to it for the crumb cake die cut. So again, just ran them through the die cutting machine 2 times to get one for each card. Oop, set that aside here. And then we're just going to take these with a couple little glue dots, and we're going to adhere those to the card front. And again, I'm going to stick it so that the glue dots are kind of down near the bottom, and I know you can see the glue dot around the edges of it, but I don't care because it's all going to be covered up. I just kind of want it to be more of a sort of placeholder to keep the die cut in the spot where I want it to be. And it's going to have layers over the top of it, so all good. Nobody's going to see the yucky glue dot. By the time I get all done with it, it'll be well hidden. It's just a matter of getting it stuck down. And again, if you want to use adhesive sheets on these, you can, or liquid glue, you can do that as well. I just didn't, just because I knew I was going to be layering over the top of it and they were going to stay in place really well without needing any extra adhesive on it. So do the same thing on the cloud cover card base. Hey, Daryl, thanks for joining. And Dolores as well. So, all right. Again, just sticking a little glue dot here on the back and then kind of tucking this in. I don't know, the top of it is probably a little over halfway up the frame die cut, but somewhere in that range. And again, you can layer it however you want to. So, all right. Taking that, and we're going to tuck the little flowers in over here. And again, it's just smooshing it down. Then I've got a little bit of the basic beige 3/8 inch classic ribbon is what this is called. This is part of the suite, and it's really pretty. What it reminds me of is like a very lightweight linen. I don't know if that is technically correct in the type of fabric that it is, but that's what it feels like to me. It's very lightweight and very pretty ribbon. And we're just going to take and put a little bit of that on each of the card bases. And I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal. Just going to put kind of a strip of Stampin' Seal on here. And not a tiny little strip, but not a huge pile of it either. And we are just going to take the ribbon, if I can find the end of it, and start going to try to make sure that that bottom stays on, the bottom edge of it stays on my card front. And then we're going to smoosh it down onto the Stampin' Seal, and then drop my ribbon right in the middle of everything. Probably banged the screen around. And then we're going to just loop it back here. And again, my Stampin' Seal is right here, so I'm just looping it back and sticking it on the Stampin' Seal again. And then, again, keeping the edge of it on my card base. And then one fine little loop here on the Stampin' Seal, and we'll smoosh it down there with my finger, make sure that it's stuck well. That's what the ribbon feels like to you too. Okay, so it's not just me. Like I said, it's like a real soft linen, really lightweight linen is what I would call it. So, and it's really pretty, so you're gonna love it. So just get the whole suite, and then you won't be sad. That's always my theory on it. All right. Again, same thing on this card base. Just going to take a little bit of the Stampin' Seal and put in a little, I don't know, it's maybe an inch long, maybe a little less than an inch long piece of the Stampin' Seal that I've stuck down there. And then again, just going to do the same thing where I'm going to take my linen thread. No, I've got linen thread on the brain. My ribbon, my basic beige classic ribbon, 3/8 inch. And we're just going to do some looping it back and forth, sort of making a wide, crazy looking Z. Smushing that down. Oh, thanks, Joan. All right. And then again, just taking the snips or your nice ribbon scissors if you thought to grab those, which I did not, and cut the ribbon off. All right, setting that aside. Now we're going to stamp our sentiments. And I've got a piece, this is nothing like a little scrap, of Secret C. I've been using this cardstock like crazy, so I don't have a ton of it left. I actually have a full pack of it on the way to me, but I had ordered mixed packs to start with to make sure that, you know, I kind of do that. That's my tip when you're buying the new in colors, is I usually buy a couple of the mixed packs of cardstock, and then figure out which ones of those that I use. And actually, this round of in colors, I've been using them all a ton. I'm kind of surprised. I liked the in colors when I saw them, but I didn't think I was going to love them, but I'm loving them. So, so anyhow, so there we go. That's my thought. Yep, and that's always been my theory on it. You might as well just buy the whole suite to start with, and then you're never sad that you don't have the pieces that you want to go with it. So, all right, I've got my Just a Note sentiment from the Simply Said stamp set. And we're going to stamp it here on the Secret Sea cardstock as well as on the piece of pecan pie cardstock that I've got here. Hopefully I've got them stamped centered enough that I can die cut it without any crazy pieces sticking over the edges, but we'll see. I've got gold embossing powder from the Metallics Wow embossing powders. This is a group of powders that is silver, copper, and gold, and it's all in 3-pack together. And so yeah, and they're pretty awesome embossing powders. So taking that, sprinkling it on both of the stamped sentiments, and I'm going to close this up before I turn on my heat tool, because too many times I have somehow dumped or sprayed embossing powder everywhere, and it is a huge mess to clean it up. Just trust me on that. You don't want to do it. So, all right. The Stampin' Up! Heat tool has got 2 settings on it. There's a level 1 setting for drying and a level 2 setting for heat embossing. So level 1 setting is for doing things like if you're going to watercolor and want to speed up the process of drying a little bit, you can hit the level 1 setting on it. Level 2 setting is for heat embossing. It does get a little bit hotter. You don't want to put your fingers in front of either one of them, but level 2 setting does definitely get warmer. And just waiting a second for it to heat up, and then I'm turning it towards the sentiment here. And whoop, I must have caught the edge of my block with a little ink as well, it looks like. So there we go. Got that one done. Come back here. And then I've got the Secret Sea one here. There we go. That one's starting to turn. When it gets that shiny and kind of smooth look to it, you want to stop your heat embossing because you can actually burn it, and then it turns kind of brown and dull and not very pretty at all, and we don't want that to happen. So, all right, got our 2 sentiments, and I think even though I goobed up the edge of that, I think we're going to be okay because I should be able to, yep, it's going to miss. Whew! So I'm going to go and die cut these. Again, this is from the Stylish Shapes dies, the 3rd from the smallest circle die, and I'm going to cut both of these out, so I'll be right back. 1 second. So there's the first one. And then there's my other one. I'll put that die back and set that aside before I make a mess of everything. And then I'm going to bring my 2 card bases back in. And we're going to grab some Stampin' Dimensionals to adhere the stamped sentiments. And I'm actually going to take the Stampin' Dimensionals and I'm going to stick them sort of around the edges of the ribbon to make sure that I'm catching not just the ribbon. I want to make sure that I'm getting the paper to hold the sentiments in place. And you know what? I think I'm going to move this just a hair over like that. All right. Hopefully I've got everything in the right place. And if we need to, I can always add some more Stampin' Dimensionals underneath my sentiments. So, all right, so I'm going to put the pecan pie sentiment on the Mossy Meadow card base. And then we're going to put the Secret Sea sentiment on the cloud cover card base. Oop, come on, lay down there. Messing around with the ribbon and, oh, there we go, it's laying down okay. All right, now I've got these stuck down here with 2 dimensionals. Neither one of them really needs another dimensional, but I'm going to show you how I do it. If you end up with a sentiment that's got a saggy spot in it and you want to put another dimensional underneath a section of it, just peel off a dimensional, take the backing off both sides of it, take your paper snips, or you could probably use your take your pick tool as well, whatever you've got handy that's got kind of a little bit of a flatter end on it. Lift up the edge of whatever you want to put it under. and then just smoosh it down, and then you've got a dimensional stuck underneath there that nobody can see. But that's my little tip if you end up, well, you know, needing a dimensional, if you got a little saggy spot on something and everything's all stuck together and you don't want to rip it all apart, just use your paper snips, slide it underneath, and it works perfectly. All right. I have got some of the, what are these called? Pressed flower motifs. And they didn't come like this when I originally had the package, but I dropped them on the floor like 5 minutes after I got them, and it scrambled them all up. They kind of flew all over the place. They still work. They're just sort of kind of piled up strangely. They should be straight across in rows, but if you're like me and clumsy and you drop them on the floor, they kind of rearrange themselves a little bit on the sheet. So just be aware of that. They stick nicely to the projects, but you probably want to try not to drop the sheet of them. Thankfully, they were inside the plastic wrapping, so they didn't completely escape. They just sort of got a little jumbled up. So that's my word of warning with the pressed flower motifs. They're very pretty and very delicate looking. And I'll hold it up here and hopefully you can see them a little bit closer. They've got a little bit of like a kind of a pressed flower look to them. I guess maybe that's probably their name came from that, but they've got a little bit of kind of an embossed look to them. And they're not truly gold, but they're not truly copper. They're kind of just like metallic is what I would call them. So just be careful with them. That's all. Don't throw them on the floor like I did. So, all right. So that's it for the card fronts. The inside of the card I kept pretty simple and just stamped one of the beautiful Gallery Blooms floral images in Crumb Cake ink on the inside of the card a couple times. So I'll show you quickly how I did that. Again, just inking it up, stamping once here, and then inking it a second time and stamping it down a little bit lower. Same thing on this piece. Stamping one up a little bit higher, and then one down a little bit lower. And that's going to be it for the card. So pretty quick and easy, actually. Like I said, I love the paper, and it was hard, hard to decide which patterns to use. But I did want to show you that you can get 2 really pretty card fronts out of each one of these 6x6 pieces of Designer Series paper, because I know sometimes that can be a challenge for us to figure out how we can maximize the Designer Series paper in those 6x6 packs. So actually, Deborah, they are not too thick to mail. You're going to have to put I usually put like a cover piece of cardstock over the top of anything that I mail so it doesn't accidentally poke through the envelope. And I usually do put the additional ounce on mine, but I think you could probably get by without doing that with these, as long as you've got the cover sheet over the top so they don't poke through your envelope. That's the main thing. But all right, then we're going to grab the second card here and get the insides put in that one as well. As I'm doing that, all the details for these 2 cards will be posted on my blog tomorrow, and including all the cardstock cuts, measurements, products that I used, all that good stuff. Stampwithamyk.com. I will link directly to the blog post once it goes live around 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So you can come back over to the video and take a look for that there. And yeah, that's it. So 4 pretty cards, quick and easy, put together. Just the Designer Series paper really does it all on these. And again, all of this product will be available to order starting on the 6th of May, which is, I can't even believe, like a week away. So that's amazing to me that it's already here. New annual catalog. And don't forget, there's lots of new online exclusives coming as well. And actually, I'm loving the online exclusives probably even more than I'm loving the new catalog. So be sure that you check those out anytime you're out there shopping, and definitely take a peek at them on the 6th of May because there's lots of good things that are coming soon. Again, thanks everybody for hopping in and being here today. Again, details will be on my blog in a printable PDF tutorial, and all the usual stuff that I add to a blog post will all be out there. I'll link it in the description of the video tomorrow around 8 a.m. Eastern time, which would be Wednesday. And I'll plan to be live around 2 o'clock Eastern time on Friday, and then again around 2 o'clock Eastern time next week, Tuesday. So till then, don't forget the double points. The reward points from Stampin' Up! Are going on May 2nd and 3rd. Yeah, and I think that's about it. All right. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will chat with y'all soon.